Let's clear up what makes hypersonic missiles so different. These aren't just faster versions of the missiles we've known for decades. They represent a leap in both technology and strategy, changing the very nature of how nations think about defense and attack. Traditional missiles follow a predictable arc, easy to track, possible to intercept. Their flight paths are like a well-rehearsed dance, visible to radar and satellites, giving defenders precious minutes to react and respond. For decades, that predictability kept the world in a strange kind of balance. The threat was clear, the response was mapped out, and the rules of engagement were well understood by all the major powers. Hypersonic missiles break all those rules. They don't just tweak the old playbook, they throw it out entirely, introducing a new era of uncertainty and risk. They travel at over Mach 5, more than a mile per second. That's at least 5 times the speed of sound, so fast that by the time you detect one, it could already be too late to stop it. But it's not just speed, it's agility. Hypersonic missiles can twist, turn, and maneuver in ways that were once thought impossible for such fast-moving objects. Unlike ballistic missiles, hypersonics can zigzag, change course mid-flight and fly low under radar. They can hug the contours of the Earth, skimming just above mountains or ocean waves, making them incredibly hard to spot and even harder to shoot down. Imagine a missile that weaves through the sky, dodging defenses, and only reveals its true target at the last moment. It's like trying to catch a shadow. By the time you see it, it's already moved. It's like swapping a cannonball for a guided boomerang. The old weapons were blunt and straightforward. These new ones are smart, precise, and almost unpredictable in their flight. These weapons combine speed, stealth, and unpredictability. They're designed to slip past even the most advanced detection systems, making them a nightmare for anyone trying to defend against them. They can evade most early warning systems and change targets in flight. This means that even if you spot one, you can't be sure where it's headed until the very last second. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a total rewrite of aerial warfare. Military leaders around the world are scrambling to rethink their strategies, knowing that old defenses may no longer work. Behind the scenes, scientists and engineers are racing to develop new materials and propulsion systems that can withstand the extreme heat and pressure of hypersonic flight. It's a technological arms race as much as a military one. The world's biggest powers are now racing to master this terrifying new technology. Whoever leads in hypersonics could have a decisive edge in future conflicts, shifting the balance of power on a global scale. Hypersonic missiles are the Formula One cars of the weapons world, fast, agile, and game-changing. But unlike a race, there's no finish line, just an ever-escalating contest to stay ahead. The old rules no longer apply. Everything we thought we knew about missile defense is being rewritten, and the world's militaries are scrambling to catch up. Welcome to the new era of missile warfare, where speed, stealth, and surprise rule the skies, and the future of global security is being shaped at hypersonic velocity. In 2021, China shocked the world in a way that few could have predicted. What seemed at first like just another military demonstration quickly turned into a global wake-up call, sending ripples of concern through the highest levels of government and military command across the globe. The event? A hypersonic missile test that was unlike anything the world had seen before. This was not a routine show of force, but a bold statement of technological prowess and strategic intent. This missile was a game-changer. It combined a hypersonic glide vehicle, capable of traveling at speeds exceeding 5 times the speed of sound, with a fractional orbital bombardment system, or FOBS. This meant it could launch into low orbit, travel immense distances, and then strike from unexpected directions, bypassing traditional missile defenses. The missile's trajectory was unprecedented. It entered low Earth orbit, circled the entire globe, and then approached the United States from the south, a direction that American missile defense systems had never seriously prepared for. It was a move straight out of a strategist's playbook, exploiting a blind spot that had long been ignored. Although the missile missed its intended target by only a few dozen miles, the test was a resounding success. It proved that the technology worked, and that China now possessed a capability that could potentially render existing defense systems obsolete. In a single stroke, China had leapfrogged years, if not decades, of Western defense planning. Military analysts and strategists were left scrambling, forced to reconsider assumptions that had guided their preparations for generations. The shock was palpable. It was as if someone had arrived at a sword fight wielding a laser, an unexpected and overwhelming advantage that changed the entire dynamic of the contest. Suddenly, Western defenses, meticulously designed to counter threats from the north, were rendered almost irrelevant. The realization dawned that their eyes had been fixed in the wrong direction, leaving a gaping vulnerability exposed. The news sent shockwaves through NATO and the Pentagon. Emergency meetings were called, and urgent reviews of defense postures began. The world's most powerful militaries were caught off guard, forced to confront a new reality. Overnight, the rules of the game had changed. The West, long accustomed to technological superiority, now found itself scrambling to catch up, its sense of security shaken to the core. The arms race had a new front-runner. With China's bold move, the competition for military dominance entered a new and unpredictable era. The game was on, and the stakes had never been higher. Hypersonic weapons are a leap beyond ballistic missiles. Ballistic missiles fly high, follow predictable arcs, and give defenders time to react. Hypersonics don't play by those rules. There are two main types: glide vehicles and cruise missiles. Glide vehicles launch on rockets, then skim the atmosphere, maneuvering at Mach 5 or more. Cruise missiles use scramjet engines to fly low and fast, dodging defenses. Both types can change course mid-flight, making interception nearly impossible. Traditional missile defenses rely on predicting where a missile will be. But how do you intercept something that can change direction at a mile per second? Hypersonics are like trying to shoot a guided bullet with another bullet. They're rewriting the rules of missile defense. China's test and Russia's use of hypersonics in Ukraine sparked panic in Western capitals. Suddenly, the US mainland felt exposed. Billions spent on missile shields now seemed almost useless. NATO's strategy of early warning and deterrence was shattered. Hypersonics compressed decision time from minutes to seconds. The US and Europe scrambled to invest in new defenses and rethink alliances. Germany boosted its military budget. The EU called for coordinated defense spending. The US, Japan, and South Korea began sharing real-time missile data. The era of comfortable security was over. The world had entered a faster, more dangerous age. The race to adapt had begun. Three main players dominate the hypersonic race: Russia, China, and the US. Russia fielded hypersonics first, using them in Ukraine and gaining real-world experience. China's approach is more sophisticated, aiming for global reach and strategic surprise. Its DF-17 missile and FOBAS test stunned the West. The US, once a tech leader, is now playing catch-up, hampered by test failures and old treaties. American programs like ARRW and Dark Eagle lag behind. Russia and China are setting the pace. The US is racing to close the gap. The balance of power is shifting. The hypersonic arms race is real, and the West is behind. Hypersonics threaten the logic of mutually assured destruction. Their speed and unpredictability could enable a decapitation strike, hitting leaders before they can respond. This raises the risk of preemptive nuclear launches based on false alarms. The line between nuclear and conventional attacks blurs. A hypersonic missile could carry either. How do you respond when you can't tell the difference? NATO's reliance on US intelligence and reinforcements is now a vulnerability. Hypersonics could blind and isolate European forces in a crisis. The risk of catastrophic miscalculation has never been higher. NATO is racing to defend against hypersonics, but it's a massive challenge. Old radar systems can't track these low-flying, maneuvering threats. The answer? A new network of satellites and sensors like the US HBTSS to track missiles from launch to impact. Intercepting them is even harder. The US and Japan are developing the glide phase interceptor to hit hypersonics mid-flight. No single system will be enough. Only a layered, integrated defense stands a chance. Israel's recent success against a missile and drone barrage shows what's possible. For NATO, the real challenge is integrating 30-plus nations' systems into one shield. It's a technical and political mountain to climb. The clock is ticking. In 2025, the US unveiled the Golden Dome, a plan as ambitious as the Apollo program. It's a ground-up, AI-powered missile defense network, linking satellites, radars, jets, and ships into one intelligent shield. The goal: defend against everything from hypersonics to drone swarms all at once. AI will manage threats in real time, outpacing human reaction. But the cost is staggering, and critics warn it could fuel a new arms race. Adversaries may simply build more missiles to overwhelm the shield. The Golden Dome is a high-stakes gamble, restoring US security but possibly making the world even riskier. The future of defense is here, and it's anything but simple. Hypersonic missiles mark the start of a new, unstable era. These weapons, capable of traveling at speeds exceeding 5 times the speed of sound, can evade most existing defense systems, making them nearly impossible to intercept. Their arrival has fundamentally changed the balance of power, introducing a level of uncertainty unseen since the height of the Cold War. The old rules of deterrence are fading as technology spreads beyond the West. Nations that once lagged behind are now rapidly catching up, acquiring advanced capabilities through both innovation and global technology exchange. The spread of hypersonic technology is just one example of how military power is becoming more widely distributed. China's tests signaled the end of American military dominance. For decades, the United States relied on its technological edge to deter rivals, but now that edge is eroding. Other nations are demonstrating their own hypersonic capabilities, challenging the old order and forcing a global reassessment of security. Europe and NATO now face the threat of near-instant strikes on their command centers. The speed and unpredictability of these new weapons mean that traditional warning systems may no longer provide enough time to respond, leaving leaders with only moments to make critical decisions. Defense budgets, strategies, and nuclear doctrines are all being re-examined. Governments are scrambling to adapt, pouring resources into new technologies and rethinking how to protect their populations in a world where threats can materialize in minutes. This arms race is more complex than the Cold War, with more players and new tech like AI and cyber warfare. The battlefield now extends into cyberspace and the realm of autonomous systems, where attacks can be launched without warning and with devastating effect. The risk of accidental escalation is higher than ever. With so many actors and so much uncertainty, a single miscalculation or technical glitch could trigger a crisis that spirals out of control. We're building weapons faster than we can control them. The pace of innovation is outstripping our ability to create safeguards, raising the stakes for everyone involved. The world is less predictable, and the warning time for conflict is vanishing. In this new era, the line between peace and war is thinner than ever, and the consequences of delay or indecision could be catastrophic. The challenge now: manage great power rivalry before the next crisis arrives at Mach 5. The future of global security depends on whether nations can adapt to this rapidly changing landscape and find new ways to prevent disaster.